Alright, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Theory and Theology. Today I wanted to talk about this topic. As we've been talking about human life, human existence, something just popped in my mind yesterday about a series of videos I'd been watching for a while. I think initially introduced to me through watching Secure Team 10 videos, who does like some kind of news reviews on like aliens and things like that. There was this it's called the Homunculus basically, but that's what everyone was calling it, and I kind of followed up about that. Because I think Secure Team 10 mentioned it, and then it was some Russian guy who initially started making these videos popular, and I don't know the original channel that these came from, but I've seen multiple channels that either reviewed those episodes, because he did it multiple times. I think it was the same guy who did it multiple times, or other episodes, and so I'll just explain them for people who don't know. So if you don't know what a homunculus is, there's kind of two explanations. One of them is like, they say it's like from the 16th century, involving alchemy type sciences back in that time period, and it's like a humanoid that's created through some form of alchemy or something along those lines. And then there's also, I think I initially learned of it through either a psych or bio type class. Like whenever we talk about like neurology of some form, there is this, cross section of a cortex of a brain, and it shows, which regions of the cortex are linked to certain areas, like the foot, the arm, the elbow, the mouth, the head, just kind of going, if you go like linearly along that cross section across the top of the head, it's just like different areas of the brain are kind of more so responsible for different areas of the body for the most part. That's the easiest way to describe it. And then you see this figure that's usually next to it that looks like this being, this like little person type thing. They call it like a humanoid, like a little person that has like exaggerated features, like exaggerated looking mouth, exaggerated looking ears, like some weird like big hands and feet and stuff like that. Like it's not like an actual person. It just shows like those physical body parts linked to what part of the brain. So whether or not it's actually linked to the brain, I mean, I can't tell you more other than that. That's kind of what I remember, and what was kind of what I was kind of reminded of when I was kind of doing some light research on this topic, because I was like, I wonder what happened, like I was researching other types of topics about like humans, and then came across this, like it was just a memory where I was like, oh, like what about this? So I looked it up again, and so basically I'll explain what happens in the video. So there are multiple types of videos, but ultimately, I'll just spoil it right now. It's not real, but I think I was fooled by it initially when I saw it on Secure Team 10, before Secure Team 10's channel got kind of shut off with some weird conspiracy theory thing. And now his channel's back. His channel's back. It's been back up for a while now. But yeah, I found it interesting that he was, so basically this guy took a chicken egg. I think it's from a grocery store. I don't know for sure. It was like subtitled, and it shows this guy who takes a chicken egg and a syringe, basically, and he has a couple little tools around for the project he's working on here, trying to create a homunculus, right? So he's trying to do some form of breeding. I don't know what you label this when you like crossbreed, I guess, like fertilize. I guess he was trying to fertilize a chicken egg using his sperm. This was the idea behind it. Now I don't know if he actually used sperm or what. Like, and there are multiple people who show, them using gum as the homunculus that comes out of this thing, or using like some kind of like computer modeling and animation to kind of remake this thing. It's some kind of like it's a trick, basically. They're trying to trick people into thinking that you can, fertilize a chicken egg and incubate it, and out will come some kind of living, moving organism. So basically, he takes these chicken eggs. I think he did a lot too. I don't know. So I'm just gonna explain it. He takes a chicken egg, cuts a tiny little bitty hole at the top of it. He has a syringe that's filled supposedly with his own sperm. He takes it and he says you have to inject it directly into the yolk. So he takes this syringe into the top of this little tiny hole of the egg shell. It's like an egg not cooked from the store, I guess, or wherever he got it from. He injects it with the semen, and then he puts tape or a band-aid over it. He keeps it for some episodes with 10 days, some 30 days. There are multiple versions of this, but where he keeps it for a few days, for quite a few days or weeks, bandaged up in a warm place. I think it was in a dark, warm place. So basically, it's like this rotting egg that has semen in it, and when he takes it out and he sees it on whatever day, he does mention that it doesn't smell good and that there's some rot. There's some rotting, visible rotting, like where the tape was at, and even on the tape you can see like that it's turned black in some cases. And he cracks open this egg and out comes this thing. I don't even know how to describe what it looks like. It's just like a slimy thing. He compares it to like an amoeba or some kind of like jellyfish, or trying to say that like it's not an intelligent animal, an intelligent organism, but that the process he used by injecting semen into chicken egg yolk creates this living, moving thing. When he goes and cracks open the egg, he opens it, the yolk, slime, all the stuff comes out with this object that's not part of what you normally would find in a chicken egg. So he opens it, the stuff comes out. It's disgusting. Sometimes it's different colors, like red. Sometimes it's like got some black stuff. I don't know how he does the egg part, the cracking the egg and the thing coming actually out of it. I wasn't paying close attention to if he cracks it off screen or what, but either way, I mean, it looks really realistic, and it basically has a thing that comes out in the yoke, and he uses some kind of like tweezers or something to kind of hold it up. And there are videos where that thing squirts something at him, like it looks like it's kind of like a defense to squirt something at him, like as a protection of itself, because he's like, prodding it and poking it and stuff. And it looks like while he's holding it, it kind of goes towards his direction, aims towards him, and like shoots out some poison or some kind of thing, venom of some kind. And that it has, so it's like according to him, according to this video, it has some kind of an awareness of its surroundings and defense mechanisms of some kind for protection, and that it is like filled with, I don't know what it's filled with, but it's disgusting in all honesty. And I mean, it looks like, I mean, now that I've seen the gum ones, I can see how it looks like chewed up gum, just like in a bit of a string. But he must have done something with it while he was holding it in one spot with the tweezers to make it look like it's moving around. That must have been some kind of animation. Some people say it must have been some kind of mechanical thing. I don't really know. It could be anything, but it's weird. So that's one type. Another type of thing is him growing it in a glass jar. Like a different one getting grown like in a glass jar, and seeing its progress of how it goes from like a little bitty nub of like nothing to like bigger and growing something that looks like a tongue or some kind of sensory feeler type thing in the middle of the tip of it. It's just weird. And there are multiple of these types of videos, and then people repeating the videos. And so the ones I saw were people debunking it. There were some videos with these like biologists, or someone who's in like the field, some kind of biological field, I believe. And there's a biologist, I believe, and they're just trying to I don't know what it is, but there's a biologist basically, and they're trying to they're just doing their talking about like what they know through the field. One thing that they mention is that it's a form of crossbreeding. Like, you can't breed different species like that. Like, humans don't breed with eggs, with chickens. I mean, even if a human was to practice some form of bestiality with these other types of animals, they're not going to give birth to, like, some other animal. Like, I don't know. And that's disgusting to even think about, people having sex with animals. But I mean, people do it. There are people out there that do that kind of weird stuff. Was it in Angela's Ashes, if you've seen that movie, where they go in and they have to talk to the priest because they're Irish Catholic, and they go in to talk to the priest, and the priest is like, what kind of sin have you committed? And I guess because it's mostly like teenage guys, and they were like saying like mostly like sexual types of stuff, because there's a big amount of shame in that culture about like masturbation and stuff like that. And so like they were basically talking about that a little bit, and then I guess the priest was asking like, did you commit this type of sin like with yourself, or was it with the beast or whatever? And he was like, I never heard of a sin like that, like like I've never heard of that before, you know. It was kind of like, what? But I guess it was something that was like, you know, I guess the priest was putting it out there because it was something that like commonly some of the guys around, you know, the area, you know, they're in the middle of like a rural area. Some of them were, and had farm animals and stuff, and so it wasn't uncommon for people to be doing that. I'm not saying anything about Irish culture and people who live in like farmland and stuff like that. You know, I'm not saying that people practice bestiality necessarily as like a practice, but it's not something that nobody ever does. I think it's gross. I'm not. I don't know. I mean, I'm very open-minded, but I would say that you know, you gotta draw the limit somewhere, and it's definitely at animals. They're not consenting. I'm not even gonna talk about this anymore, but it's just nasty. But he wasn't really having sex with the animals. He was just trying to use his sperm to inject. And so some other person showed how they did the hoax. There were multiple people who showed examples. One example, which I agreed with some of the comments where they were saying, like after the 3D model example, I agreed with some of the comments where they were saying that it wasn't too, like it didn't look smooth, like it didn't look too like fluid in motion, like it was a little, what do you call it? I don't think the word's pixelated. What's the word for motion? Because it wasn't visually not smooth, it just motion-wise wasn't as like flowy feeling. Like it was a little rigid, and like you could see it kind of stopping at certain points. Like it didn't look totally like, you know, when people pop lock or do like the robot and stuff like that, how they look kind of like, that's not like a smooth, you know, motion, versus you can do it more like fluidly, so it looks more like jelly kind of movements. So they were trying to figure out how he made it more kind of like fluid movements in the water, the one that was being grown in the water, supposedly. And he would like post about its progress, about it like growing. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. It's so weird. But it's just funny. Like I think I believed it. I think I did believe it when I first saw it. I was like, whoa, this is weird. I did get a little grossed out when there was the one that was supposedly spat at him and then he smashed it with a big book. I was like, oh, like that's like he just like killed the thing. Like, and it would have been like a single, I don't know, like a weird kind of organism that he created with his own with his own sperm. It was his offspring, basically. I don't know. This is gross. But I don't know. If people want babies or whatever, if they want children, they should maybe try other methods that aren't injecting sperm into a chicken egg. Like, I mean, it was a fun kind of experiment to see him doing, but to see a fake experiment is like the weirdest thing. Like, but part of me was like, yeah, this might be true. Like, I was like, I don't really know much about this, but yeah, after listening to the biologists and seeing the people do the what do you call it, the 3D animation with it and everything, I was like, okay, that makes sense, that this isn't real. I mean, I didn't like fully think that it was real, but I was like open to it being real, if that makes sense. I was like, this seems like it could be real. It's weird, to say the least. Like, it was a really weird video, but it was like a series of videos, and then they said that like Russia got mad at him, and so that's why the videos got canceled, is because Russia got angry and stopped posting stopped allowing him to post his stuff. Like the government stopped letting him post it or something. I don't really know. I'll have, if I can find the channel, the original channel, I'll try and post it. I don't even know what to think. Like I mean, even just thinking about it, it's making me a little nauseous. Like, it's just kind of gross, but yeah, it's not too like off. Like, it's not too what do you call it? I guess, like, it's not that I don't know what the word is. I don't know. I've never seen a video like that. Like a series of videos like that before. But there are a lot of them out there. If you just search Homunculus, it's the type of stuff that pops up, and a lot of it's like debunking or like repeating this guy's hoax. And I don't know, it's kind of weird. It was definitely entertaining though. But I saw this, like, I want to say like 3 years ago or something. Like, it's kind of been like in the back of my mind for a while. But I don't even know what to say. Like, but anyways, I don't know. That's kind of all I have to say about this. But yeah, I don't know what people think. Like, I don't know what I think about hoaxes. I like things that kind of like pique my interest, or kind of get the gears turning intellectually, and then like make me think about stuff, think things through. But I don't really see what the point of that one was. I mean, I'm pretty sure he got a lot of views and stuff, but I did wonder why the channel got shut down or whatever, or why I wasn't able to find any updates with it. I can't remember. I remember reading the comments, but I just don't remember like if it was on his channel or Secure Team 10's channel, or like what channel. But yeah, people were saying it was real, and it was just kind of weird. And you know, there's a part of me that likes the idea of, you know, life forms, organisms, but even with like plants, I find it hard to be like, all right, I want to grow a plant, and then if it dies, it's like, man, that's like a life form that I didn't successfully keep alive, you know. I mean, the last plants, I did good with them. They were succulents, but then they fell off my window, and the little pots they were in, they fell off my windowsill and broke. Like, the way that they snapped, I couldn't like regrow them, I don't think. Like, I think I tried, but it didn't work. But yeah, I was kind of like, man, that's kind of a bummer. But yeah, like, I was thinking about growing some like mushrooms, like not necessarily psilocybin mushrooms, but like lion's mane and some types of mushrooms that I would probably actually eat. And so yeah, but I don't know, like, some of the stuff is just weird for me. I don't really know, you know, what I think about like growing stuff. Like, my family grows a lot of stuff, so it would be easy for me to just grow stuff. But I wouldn't try to make like another like organism, like some kind of like a moving life form of some kind. But yeah, that's kind of all I had to say about that. I'm yeah, that's kind of all I had to say about that. But I don't know if this is even interesting, but that's kind of what I was indulging in kind of recently. And thanks for listening.